Reports.
Such that
Thank
Parliament
you.
does not trade in rumors.
Yes, there are reports that you gave out Nakivubo Central Settlement and Nakivubo Blue primary schools.
Those schools are under threat.
Yes, they are under threat. So we want to know as Parliament if that is true. And so we forge a way forward. And
No, and you tell us why.
of course, they will have to explain why they would risk schools.
Why you're finishing all public schools?
And secondly, there is a big issue of vendors, and part of the vendors are people who build on the road reserves. And we are wondering if you have an enforcement team to deal with people building in road reserves, because they build there and 10 years, 20 years, you're looking on, and later on you come to demolish their small buildings, and then politics come in, and then it becomes another matter, when the real matter was why they settled on road reserves and why did you accept them for that long time.
There.
They built there, road reserves. What plans do you have for road reserves in this town? Thank you.
Okay.
Also come with the copies of the overlapping plots around, because the issue of encroachment either side is also prominent at the channel where you gave development.
I think what we can do,
7A, those areas for us to understand.
What we can do from the word go, from the onset, is that until this matter is concluded by Parliament, nobody should touch the nearby schools. Okay? And that if you permit to do anything, you will be in contempt. Nobody should touch those schools.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes?
First of all,
No, to the witness.
And our
Both
guests,
of them to you,
class
sir.
members. I'm sorry I've come in late, but I'm also interested, not as a member, but as a member of Parliament. I want to thank your directive on schools, but to energize your...
I thought you were thanking me.
I'm thanking you, Mr. Chairman, but energizing the same directive you've given. KCCA, the challenges we have had on takeover of schools by KCCA is them transferring teachers, removing assets of the school and head teachers, and then schools are demolished. So as you tell them nobody should touch, they should not even transfer teachers from those schools. Because the moment they transfer, it means they have consented to the takeover of the school.
And remember, I respectfully declined to issue that directive. And you know the reason. That transfer of teachers is entirely the prerogative of the Ministry of Education.
No, Mr. Chairman.
Even those that are under KCCA, we are not interrogating a matter to do with education, employment, and education standards.
Mr.
We
Chairman.
are dealing with an issue to do with the infrastructural encroachment.
Mr. Chairman, if you may allow me, the powers to transfer teachers in primary schools, and the matter you're talking about is in Nakivubo Primary, is entirely under KCCA.
I have already guided, maybe now let me use the word ruled.
Thank
you. Then we allow the questions to be answered.
It was about the Nakivubo Settlement and Nakivubo Blue primary schools, and I want to confirm that KCCA, as a public guarantor, would not want to give away these schools. The integrity of these schools is preserved.
Okay.
The ED to brief us tomorrow about the acreage of Nakivubo Settlement and Blue, and whether you have a title to those schools as the user department, even the boundaries, whether you've ever opened the survey boundary and the cadastral for the schools, even access for these other plots which they are developing, to give us some bit of
I will allow,
because as far as I know, those schools have no title.
Okay, I will allow the question because you see why members.
Thank you. Question number 2 was about, I would like to state that KCCA received 4,355,447,013 shillings for compensation of persons who were affected in the Chitezi mudslide, who were 95 in number. KCCA has paid out 4,282,073,075 shillings to 93 persons. 2 people are yet to be paid. One of them is out of the country, and the other has not been paid because the bank details and the procedures have not been completed. The other question was about the Katwe market fire that happened on the 20th day of March 2026. Honorable Chair and members, it is true that in the night of 20th March 2026, Katwe market was affected by a fire, and the Uganda Police Force was called in to support put out this fire. This market does not belong to KCCA. It is one of the properties under the Uganda Kingdom. The fear is therefore that this is one of the properties that is probably for the redevelopment by another party. We can never know. One, because this is not our property, but two, we have not gotten any final details about this market after the fires. On the floods in the city, yes, we have had a number of flood situations in Kampala, and Kampala capital city has a Kampala City Master Drainage Plan, which unfortunately is not yet funded, but our efforts to handle the black spots of the flood areas have continued to be implemented to ensure that we do the silt, we do support the communities in dredging channels that are in likely situation to flood.
Okay.
Honorable Chair, the other question about the apparent loss of time in the gridlocks or jam, that has been associated with ongoing works. It is true that Kampala Capital City Authority is having ongoing works on roads, but where these road works are ongoing.
Not just ongoing, but unending.
Honorable Chair, Kampala Capital City has a kilometerage of about 2,104 kilometers of roads, of which only about 700 or so is paved road, and necessitating construction, reconstruction, and maintenance of the roads. So the issue of continuous work is because of the state of the road network in Kampala. In about 18 months or so, Kampala was awash by the tag pothole city because of the number of potholes that were in this city. And there is urgent work that is being done. We are slowly getting out of the pothole city because of the road networks that is being improved.
I don't think that is true.
So true.
You know, behind Old Kampala Police, between Old Kampala Police and Aga Khan parking, I almost felt I was going to die because I had to dump my car in a huge pothole. And you know, by the way, I landed in that one by taking a choice. Which one should I land in? And I drive a fairly big car. I now feel for those people who drive very small cars. Then you cannot tell me just here at Old Kampala, and it's not one of those under maintenance. It is one of those where we were squeezed and forced to go because the others were terribly jammed.
Chairperson,
Yes.
Old Kampala is very far. Last week we were here with the minister for the PS for Office of the President, which is charged KCCA. I brought to her attention a pothole just here on, near Post Bank, which is now Pearl Bank, just here near across the road from as you go from Petro or that part of the Kampala Road. It's a pothole. It was a big pothole there. And I brought to the attention, please, can't you even see? Don't you have people who monitor? I don't know whether they have worked with it or not. Near Uganda House.
Do you even drive
Just there.
around to see? You know, especially for those of us who repair our cars.